Hello and welcome to you all to our next series of Get Up and Start Running with Node.js. Now we are discussing about the express.js and all the common functionalities and features of express.js. Okay, so in the previous modules we have dealt and discussed about how to create the API endpoints, routes, custom routes, and in the next, that's the previous module, we discussed about how to create some middleware like authentication or error checking or validation middlewares, anything according to our application logic. And now we'll be discussing to how to send files. Now till now we have seen how to send text, simple text like hello world or any text or any JSON format text. Now for this time we'll serve a simple HTML file. How to serve that simple HTML file we'll see over here. Okay, so go to our code. So this is our code. What we want to do now is that first of all let's create a file, say index.html over here. Okay, this is our index.html, simple HTML, nothing fancy. Head getting closed, body is getting closed, HTML, this is inside head. We'll have title, just one title, nothing else. Title getting closed. This is our first app. Right, in the body we'll have an h1 element saying it is a application. Right, that's it, nothing fancy. Now we want to send this particular HTML back to the in the response. So we'll use the index, this a root element only, and what we'll do is that instead of this JSON, we'll use this function send file. Now the send file will be used. Now this send file, when we are we should provide the path to the file. Now how do we know the path of the file? It's simple, it's present in the root folder named index.html, but still we need to provide the directory name. What is the root directory? Complete path. We don't remember that, but there's a utility in JavaScript or Node for that, which is __ directory. So this will give us the current directory whichever is present, because we want the full absolute path to send back the file. We'll have slash index.html. That's it. Okay, run it. Node server, and let's try to see. Okay, a whole example. Okay, we'll go to the simply localhost 3000, and yup, this is our HTML that got served. This is the header element h1 for first application. So this is how we have served a very simple HTML page. Similarly, we can serve complex page, a lot of things using that page internally using JavaScript or CSS or anything. Now say if our page internally uses some resources, say JavaScript or CSS, we should always have those resources which were public or client facing in a particular folder, and usually we call that particular folder as public. So let's create a folder over here and call it public. This is a public folder, and public folder may have a lot of things like index.js. Because we do not want everything to be along with here, we should have some things which are called by index.html. Now if we call anything index.html from here, any index variable, nothing will be served, because our application, we cannot browse through application. Now say we have a file over here, say index.js. This is some JavaScript, some alert, we can put it hello I am JS. That's it. And this index.js should be called from index.html. This script should be there. And how it should be? Source. What is the path for that? Is slash public slash index.js. And this is right. That's it. Okay, let's try to run it and see what happens. Okay, we have run it, but is there some error? Yes, it's failed to load the resource. The server responded with a status 4.4. It didn't find this particular file index.js. And why was that? Because we cannot browse through our files which are present on the server. These are the files which are present on the server. Even if you have named it public, doesn't mean it will get served to the public directly. So, but we need those JavaScript files apart from, say, whichever we are sending through send file, because through send file we can just send one particular file which is index.html. Now, what if this index.html needs other resources like JavaScript file, CSS files, images it may need that are stored on the server. So for all of those, we can define and make them as static files. And how do we do that? We use again app.use, and we say that express.static. Now through this we can define a folder that will be public facing. Now this obviously won't have any of our server side code or any password or any API key and all. These are just the code which we want actually to be there, be client facing, and be called from all the rest of the files like images. Some images should be there, some fav icons should be there. Now this app.use will see the path, and as usual we use the directory name that is for the root, and we'll say it's public. That's it, public. Now anything inside public, this directory name and public will become client facing, that is customer facing. This index.js will now be accessible. But this index.html, and whatever will be accessible will be starting with slash public. So anything inside slash public will be a root for this. So it can simply call index.js from here. Okay, so this is all for this one. Next, we will be discussing about how to process the post request. Thank you all. Please like and subscribe.